Let's do a flip through of my reading journal so I can show you the pages updated with all the books that I read in April.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome, I'm Stefania.
As always, I'm gonna start from the yearly pages. I've had the books that I read here in my bookshelf, and I really like always turning out. Again, I've created more books than my actual goal. I've said again because I think I've said this multiple times, I always create more books than my actual goal because I always think, what if then I reach my goal and read even more? I would rather have some books that at the end of the year are empty rather than not having enough space for the books. And I color code them according to how many stars I give to them. Then I've updated my book log with the books that I read this month. Reading tracker, in April I've reached my monthly goal, which is to read a little bit each single day. It doesn't matter how many pages or for how much time I'm gonna read. The important is to open a book and read a few pages each single day. Then it's okay if I read more, it's fine if there's gonna be a day in which I'm gonna read only 10 pages, and then if there's gonna be a day in which I'm gonna read for example, on the 7th I read more than 200 pages, it's always fine. The important is to read a little bit each single day. These are the 5 books that I read in April, and about this one, it's a non-fiction one, it's about cash stuffing, and there's not gonna be let's say book review in my monthly pages, so there's gonna be only 4 spreads for the books this month, because I've said this before, I don't do spreads for books that I've already read, or if they are non-fiction and they're more like for personal growth. I do spread if they are, for example, I've done it for The House of My Mother, which yes is a non-fiction, but I had so much to say about the book, but I don't do it for things like this one. This Born of Kaigen was my favorite book of the month, 4 stars and half, and this definitely surprised me. That book was close to 5 stars, but it wasn't a 5 stars, and so nothing has changed at this page. So far from January to April there has been only one book that for me was a 5 star. I've realized that throughout the years I get always more. I would say I don't give 5 stars so easily anymore, that's it. Monthly reads, I've updated April with the books that I've read, and the more we're getting close to this part of the notebook, the more you're gonna see how the damage is going on in this notebook. It's basically divided in 2 now. Xiamo con le streghe, I will not recreate this page also next year because there's nothing that gets picked up anymore. I mean, since March there hasn't been a book that was picked up, and it doesn't seem like there's ever gonna be another one, so I guess this one will be like this up until December, who knows. Cerebro Book Club, I've updated it. Series tracker, I don't think I read anything from series this month, I don't remember. Bingo, I've updated it. Storygraph challenge, I've added the 5 books that I've read in April, and so with April I'm at 18 and my goal is 60, so yes, I know I'm a little bit behind my goal, but it's fine. Like, if I'm not gonna reach it, it's gonna be more than fine, I don't care. And I will, before or later, update Storygraph. I will, I just don't know when. Alphabet challenge has been updated as well, for the book title and also for the author, and here we are. As you can see, my notebook is divided in 2. It's completely, I don't know, I don't have words because something like this never happened to me before. I used to have some notebooks that could break a little bit like here or here, but when I was like at the end of the notebook and they survived the whole notebook with scrapbooking. But something like this, after not even 6 or 7 months, it's I don't have words for this. I don't know what to say about it. It's just that it's broken, so that's it. I can tell you one thing though, it might be more comfortable, let's say, for some photos, because now it's all popping out in the same, so it's not like you could see this part here but not the bottom part, but it's not the best when you have to write in these pages or the first few of these pages when you turn. Anyway, challenges, they've all been updated. Yes, I think I'm just missing, I still have to print the book covers, and as I predicted, something changed in my buzzword reading challenge. Okay, good. I don't know if I'm gonna finish even at least one of these 4, who knows, but they've all been updated, which is good. 25 in 25. In April, I read 2 of them, this one and this one, so it's pretty good. I think that I might end up finishing this one, I don't know. Yes, I know I'm still missing 3 books, I'm still thinking about. I think that I will start writing a list of books that I would love to read right now, so that maybe for 2026 I will know what to do already with this page since the very beginning. Genre tracker has been updated, and I don't have so much to say about it, honestly. TBR, in April I've started the month with 0 books in my TBR, I've added 1, I've read 0 from my physical TBR, and so I finished April with 1 book in my TBR. Reading stats, in April I've read 5 books, 4 were books and 1 was a physical book. I still have to write the number of pages, which I don't know why I forgot to write it here, because I've put in my monthly stats, so I don't know why I haven't written it down there. I don't know. 30 days, 3 books in English, 2 in Italian, and then there are the ratings, and as you can see it wasn't that bad, but it could have been better, because there were 2 books that, let's say, weren't that amazing. And now we can go straight to the monthly pages. First of all, if you want the Plan With Me video is live, you can find my channel as always. I'm not gonna talk too much about my monthly stats because I just said everything in my early pages, so I don't see what more I could say about this page. So I'm gonna go straight to the monthly view, and as you can see, there are quite a lot of colors, and this is because there are the 5 books plus another one that I've started, but I finished it then in May, so it's not gonna be in April. And the non-fiction one took me 3 days because it was a very short one, and it was definitely the book that took me the last time this month. While compared to how long the book is, the first book took me not so much because the book was over 700 pages and I finished it in 7 days, so it's not that bad. But the one definitely got me, while other books that were definitely shorter, like the one that I read straight after, took me forever because I wasn't so much into it. Reading tracker, as I've said in my early pages, I've read a little bit each single day, which is good. And of course, I knew it, that if I would have put a sticker here, it would have ended up being the days in which I would have read a little bit more, and in fact this was the day in which this line was supposed to wrap up until the end, but it's fine. Now I'm gonna move straight to the pages dedicated for the books, and I'm gonna try not to give spoilers because I don't want to do that. This is a flip through, and let's see how it's gonna go. Sword of Kaigen was the first book and it was a 4 stars and out for me. This was the book that was picked up by the Cherbourg Book Club, and I wasn't so sure about it. Like, I didn't want to read it, to be honest. I was like, okay, I'm not really interested in the plot. I don't know if I'm gonna read it. It's also a long book. But I was like, I will go to the meeting, and so I want to be able to follow whatever we're gonna say about the book, so let's give it a try. I was like, at the end of the day, if I really don't like it or I can't stand anymore, I can't enough it, and that's it. Instead, it was a big surprise. I loved it, and I'll tell you one more thing, it wasn't that long. Like, don't get me wrong, I know there are books which are definitely longer, but this was over 700 pages, and yet it felt like it wasn't even 400 pages. So I really love that thing about a book. I fell in love so much with it, and yes, I've cried like a baby. From a point on, for so much, I couldn't stop crying. And I couldn't believe what was happening. I was like, no, it can't be like that. I don't know, probably because part of me was thinking that that character would have been the main character and the story would have been around that one. And the fact that then instead it was around a character that you would have thought, oh, it's not like the main character. Like, it's another very important character, but it can't be like that, right? And that it was a big surprise. I really loved everything about this book. Why I couldn't give it 5 stars? Some people will be like, oh, this is not an excuse. The thing is, I was done with this book and I was left with, I want more. There were, especially at the end, there were things that needed answers for me, and yet they weren't in the book. So basically, I found out that technically this was a prequel to a series that the author never finished, and not only never finished. If I'm not wrong, there were like 3 books out, but she decided to take them away from everywhere. I loved it, and if you had time, you should definitely read it. Another thing that I definitely enjoyed about this book is also that when there is the battle, is not fast. Usually in a lot of books, when there is a war or something like that, they try to, let's say, skip through it, like a chapter or 2 and we're done, just a few pages. Instead here, everything takes its time, and it's wonderful. I really loved it. There is another character that I'm not gonna make names because elsewhere I guess that some of the things that I've said would be like spoilers. That's why I'm saying really in a very general, let's say, way about this book. And this character was a character that I was so mad with since the very beginning of the book. And I was like, why can't you just die? I mean, there's gonna be a way that you're gonna disappear from the book. And the more the book was going on, the more I learned to know about this character, and it definitely was a big surprise. I'm not saying I loved his character by the end, no, but I definitely appreciate the fact that there is a change going on. I definitely appreciate the fact that things are changing. Let's say it in this way. I really would tell you to read if you can, because it's definitely a gorgeous one to read. And let's say also in this thing, it's not so much fantasy, okay? It's not so much. And another thing I would love to say is about not the world building itself, it's about the fact that it's, at least here in Italy, it was bring out as a fantasy. And don't get me wrong, there is also that little part which is all about magic, but it's not the big, like, even if you're gonna take that away, it's still gonna make a lot of sense. So don't get into this book expecting for it to be, I don't know, something like an epic fantasy or something like that. No, but I definitely enjoyed it. Then I went back to Daydream Harbor, and here's the thing. So far, I've been loving the series, like, the second and third book, that definitely have been a pleasure for me. I've even enjoyed it, the first one, but then the more I was going on in the series, the more I couldn't stand the main character of the first book, if it makes sense. But the fact is that when I've read these 3 books, I enjoyed them all. So was I expecting something from this one? Absolutely yes. Instead, it was a big no for me. 3 stars, and I don't know, it's a very hard one to just think about it. The thing that I also can say is that I love the first 3 books, yes, and I've also created stickers from these 3 books, but when it came to the 4th one, no. So yes, you're gonna be able to find stickers from the previous books in my Etsy shop, but there's not gonna be one for this. I'm sorry, I just, no, okay? Things that I didn't like. I don't know where to start. I don't know, probably from the fact that this man found out that he has a daughter, and there is this daughter, like Olive is there. So my question is like, why for the majority of the book we don't consider her? So this is another thing that I hate. For me, oh, you're amazing when you go with a single parent or something like that, or you're gonna have problems. I get it, some people will be like, oh, but she was at school, like, you know, she couldn't be always around. I get it, but she's supposed to live with her father, so I'm expecting to see more of her. Instead, no, everything was too much of a no for me in this book. I found it boring compared to the previous one, and then the surprise at the end, for me, it wasn't a surprise. I was like, seriously? It makes no sense, okay? And I can't explain exactly why, because it would be a spoiler, but it makes no sense. I think that here is the thing, while we already know who Iris was because we met her in the previous book, I think that what you can say when it's something like that, it's okay, I can expect to see more of her, learn more about her. Instead, even here, you could have given so much to her story thanks to her mother. No, you just decided to ignore it all. Like, you mention it, yeah, she doesn't have a father, he disappeared, didn't care about her. Her mother, well, she's like this and that. Like, you have so much potential there, then use it. Then again, I know you're gonna be like, oh, but it's not the type of romance, it's not that deep, it's more like something that you're gonna read in summer and move on. I am sorry, but no. No. I don't know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, even Archer was a main character that's like questionable in some moments, but at least about him, I appreciate the fact that we've seen him slowly changing, like growing, like going from, oh, I just moved here for the month of time that my daughter needs to just get used to me, and then I'll go back to my life as a 5-star chef in Paris, and that's it, to actually understanding and learning to, let's say, reconsider all his choices in life. And on the side, I appreciated that, yes, but again, there were things that for me were too much of a big no. Like, I don't know. Will I keep on going with the series? Yes, because I'm curious about the next one. And then, of course, it was announced even a sixth book. Like, another book, I guess it's gonna be the sixth one. Like, the 3, 4, 5... Yes, the sixth one. Am I surprised? No. Will I read them? Well, I will for sure read the next one. Also because we've met the main characters before, so I will definitely read it when it comes out. But this one for me was a big no. Like, since this series, it's a series, but they are all standalone, so you could like start reading this one and then read the others. Of course, you're gonna quite spoil something about the couples. I would tell you, don't read this one, just keep it. I'm sorry, it was 3 stars for me. Definitely not worth it compared to the other books in the series. Then it's time for an Italian book by girl that, I think it's her first book. If it's not her first, it's her second book. I was really curious. I've been having this in my, let's say, I want to read this book since I don't know, it has been there for a few years by now, I would say. So I really wanted to read it, and it was a 3 stars. Here's the thing, there is so much that this book could give you, but then sadly focus only on the 2 main characters. And that's it. And you can't do it not with this plot. You just can't, I'm sorry, but I think that when you read it, you need to see also the other things, I would say. Another problem for me was the timing. Don't get me wrong, but you can't start the book and just at the beginning be like, we're at the end of summer, we're about to start school, and this and that and this and that. And then you're like, if you say you're just about to start, how can it be that in the next pages you skip parts and you're like, we spent so much time in these few weeks together, and you're like, when, where, how? Like, the things weren't timing. That's it. Like, you can tell me, it's kind of like if I would say, in a week I start school, and I tell you about me meeting this person today, and then a few chapters later, I'm like, in the past 4 weeks, we've been going along pretty well. Like, you get it, it doesn't make sense. Especially if then you say you still have to start school, okay? This thing quite bothered me a lot. It's the first in a series. I will not read the next few books because I'm sorry, I gave it a try and I don't want to give less than 3 stars because I hate the idea of doing it to somebody that's just starting out. But it's crystal clear that she needs to do a lot more. Like, she really has to work harder. It's not that bad as the first one, but there are way too many things that don't work well. And I don't know if there was an editor also behind it or not, but if there has been one, these things shouldn't have been there, okay? So I'm sorry. I will not talk any further also because it's not out in any other language, so I think it would be quite pointless. Suddenly a Murder, 4 stars. This was definitely a lovely one to read. The reason why I went with this is because I was like, I need some mystery now. I need a break from fantasy and romances because I just need it. And so I went with this one. Have I heard about it before? No. It's just I was looking for what should I read next, and this came out and that's it. I've enjoyed it, yes. And the thing that I love the most is that since the very beginning you think you know who's gonna be the one doing it. Like, you're like, of course, who else could have been the one behind this murder? Who? Like, we've literally had that character point of view, and then you're like, but wait a second, is it possible? Like, she's trying to trick the readers by making the character pretend that doesn't know anything, also when the character is alone? It makes no sense. So I was definitely surprised about reading it. The more I was reading it, the more I was like, oh, okay, maybe also this one could have committed it because, yeah, well, the good reasons were there. So the more I was going on, the more I was starting like, okay, there are so many characters that could have actually done it. And then it ended up that the one that was the one that I was like, yeah, I could have, but it doesn't keep it up. Like, the others had a very, let's say, better, stronger reasons to do it. Like, I don't know. And definitely the ending surprised me. I think the only thing that left me a little bit like, was the whole things about her family behind. Like, is this family, it's there, but it's not there at the same time. So probably, I don't know if I'm really sure that I would have liked it better if it would have been made in a different way. Like, we see she's struggling with her mother and her sister is there. We know that she has no idea about her father, but like, probably with what we find out at the end, I would have needed more. Okay, so, or you would have done something more, or probably I would have like done it in a different way. I don't know. This is me trying to, let's say, get an idea about what's in my brain right now about this book. I loved it, yes, and I think you could read it without a problem, absolutely, yes. It's a gorgeous one, and it's interesting, and there are so many things. I just find it funny that she thinks that she's smart, like, oh, I'm gonna hide here, nobody's gonna know. And I'm like, really? You're just a girl that finished high school, and you think that adults have been doing their job for years, don't know about the fact that you could be like right there behind that wall listening to everything? Really? It was definitely a gorgeous read. Yes. Could have been better? Yes. The thing that definitely got me the most was the mystery. I really wanted to understand who was behind the murder. I really wanted to do that. So I can say that this book was definitely more about the story rather than the characters. So these are the books that I've read in April. I was wondering, have you read them? Yes, no. Are you planning on reading them? Let me know it with a comment. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, remember to give it a thumb up and to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye!